Welcome to On Deck. I have a very special guest in Nick Green today. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too.
And you guys over at the Fox Sports booth are at every game.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me what it's like being there and seeing this team that's been so unpredicted, through the past couple of years, turn around and do what they did last year.
It's pretty fun. I mean, the most special part of it to me is Brian Stinker.
Yeah.
Because I had him in the minor leagues 3 years, and he's one of the greatest managers that I played for in the minor leagues. So just to see him have the success that he had, it's been fun to see the organization come back together.
Yeah.
And there for 5 years or so, it was almost like it wasn't the same organization that I grew up knowing and loving and being in. And now they've got the right people and the right players. The potential's through the roof of these kids. And the cool part about it is, I'm a little bit more old school, but to see the young kids get the opportunity is pretty cool because when I played, you're going to see maybe one young kid play.
Yeah.
If they were competing. When I was on Tampa, it was a different story, but you had one guy that would come up, maybe two, and now you've got 3 or 4 that they're giving the opportunity to do. And I think that's pretty fun to watch as well.
As a former player, tell me which one's easier. Stepping into the batter's box of a Major League Baseball game or stepping into a Major League broadcast?
More nerve-wracking is the broadcast.
Yeah.
When the camera's not on you, it's a lot easier. But stepping in the batter's box is the last year or so of my career when I was on the tail end there. I always wondered how I was going to hit.
Yeah.
And that was stressful, but it wasn't the same type of stress. So I love both of them. They're both fun. And the cool part about broadcasting is we're such competitors playing the game that when I get on the broadcast, I try to do better every day. And so it's to me, it's that type of competition that I had playing baseball. It's just not physical.
Now, you've developed over the past few years in broadcasting. You have an actual known broadcaster in the booth with you, Jerome Jaranovich. How much has he helped you along these past few years?
He's been great. It's hilarious because the first year that I did it with him, I did 20 games. And he told me 2 years later, he's like, the first time that I worked with you, I'm like, who is this kid? Why can't he talk?
Yeah.
Why won't he give me answers? And then you learn as you go, but it was hilarious. He's great. Love him. Just went to his 60th birthday about a week or so ago. So he's pretty special.
For sure. So let's talk about these current Braves. The fan base on Twitter and anywhere else, has been kind of unsure with the quiet off season and with trades that they might have wanted. Kimbrel and Keuchels of the world. Can you give the Braves country any reassurance of what this team has?
They have the makings of a very good team long term, and that's what you're looking at. I get it. I understand it. Alex Anthopoulos does too.
Yeah.
You want to see moves made. You want to see impact players come to the team. But if it doesn't make sense, they're not going to do it. And that's one thing that I respect about Anthopoulos. If the deal doesn't make sense, he's not going to do it.
Yeah.
He wants to win just like everybody else. And when you're looking at starting pitching, I think they could definitely add an arm. And I assume he thinks the same way. Could add some bullpen pieces. But if you're looking at 4 or 5 year deals, that doesn't make sense. And that's what you're looking at.
Or to trade Acuna and all these.
Trade those guys.
Who would you personally like to see?
I would like to see Kimbrel.
Yeah.
I think that, I don't know if he'd be the difference maker, but he would make the bullpen a whole lot better.
Yeah.
And the reason I say this is because Minter is unproven in a way. Viz just went on the IL, so we're worried about him picking back-to-back days anyway. So it makes the 9th inning more secure.
Yeah.
And so then you fill in the rest of the pieces from there. They have good arms in the bullpen. I would love to see Craig Kimbrel, but I don't know if it would happen. I don't know if he's willing to take a 2-year deal or so. So I'm like everybody else. I would love to see it. I would be excited. It's easy to spend other people's money, right?
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of spending other people's money, we actually did have a really good deal this year. How happy were you to see Brian McCann return?
I was thrilled. And you look at the deals and say, okay, that was $2 million. Well, that's really cheap.
Yeah.
But Brian McCann brings a lot to the table.
Sure
it is not just about his performance on the field. He's a good leader in the clubhouse. He leads by example. He works hard. He's been through a lot, and he's learned from some really good pitchers. What he can bring to the staff is incredible. And that's the stuff that doesn't show up on paper. So it's special to me to see him. We went to the same high school, so we were only 6 years apart. But to see him come back is pretty cool, and I'm just glad to see these young kids have that opportunity to play with him.
You have an impending Foltynewics return pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what you've heard, what you've seen, and how excited you are about Foltynewics coming back.
He needs to get back,
Yeah.
and the rotation's been pretty good. But to have your number one starter, all-star coming back is important. I didn't see him throw yesterday. The numbers didn't look good, but if he feels good, then he's going to be okay. So I just want to see him continue to take a step forward. And what he did last year was incredible, and I think that he's capable of being even better, if that's possible. But for Folty, to me, if he can harness his emotions, he's getting such great stuff, and he has to control the strike zone. He's going to be a top rotation guy for a long time. So it's a big boost to the rotation. Hopefully he's healthy, and that's the main concern. If he's healthy and ready to go, he'll be fine.
On the same token, Mike Soroka, we've been hearing whispers about him coming back, and are you excited to see him come back?
I am, and I was excited last year, but I didn't get to see enough. And we got excited about it, and then he gets hurt, and then you don't see him, and you say shoulder. Well, every time I hear shoulder, I get concerned.
Yeah.
If I hear elbow, people come back from elbows all the time. It takes a while, but they do. And to hear the reports that he's up to 95 again has been encouraging. He's going to be here soon. I want to see him obviously stay healthy and pitch on a consistent basis, but it's going to be fun to watch him continue to get better and be a big piece to this rotation for a long time. There are a lot of young guys. There really are. And last year was all about Mike Soroka. Now it's you're hearing other than Max Fried's a big deal right now. Touki came out and threw 6 innings of one-run baseball the other day. So there are a lot of good arms that we're excited about. I'm still excited about Kyle Wright. Even though he got sit down, I think his stuff is incredible. So I'm just excited to see all the young kids in general come together.
So we were talking about moves earlier and talking about big-time players, and we got a big-time player this year in Josh Donaldson.
Mm-hmm.
And in the past 2 days, he's hit 2 home runs. Tell me how excited you are to see him heating up and what he can bring.
I said this in the offseason that I know a lot of people were upset that Camargo didn't get the job. But if Donaldson's healthy, he's an upgrade over almost everybody because he's that good. And what he's shown defensively is something I don't think any of us expected. We knew the metrics said he was a good defender, but he's been incredible. And his offense, I said this the other day too, he's about 4 or 5 days ago is where he probably should have been and would have been in the beginning of the season if he played enough in spring training. But they were being cautious with him. They were being careful with him to make sure he's healthy because they need him for the whole year. So now he's starting to get in that rhythm and that groove. His swing's unbelievable. And he took a 101-mile-per-hour fastball and hit it the other way off Zach Wheeler the other day. So you know the bat speed's there. You can catch up the fastballs. And now he's starting to show that power. So he's depending on how much he plays, you could get 30, 35 home runs from him easy. Yeah. And the way he gets on base, he can get on base at 400 clips. So playing good defense, what more can you ask?
Last player I want to ask you about, I say this guy because he's such a favorite of mine. Dansby Swanson has had an unbelievable start this year, just as a whole. Tell me, last year people were concerned about him. Now he's healthy. He's coming back. Wrist good. How excited are you to see the rest of this year?
I'm pretty excited to see him continue to try to build on his success early on. I'm proud of Dansby because he made an adjustment in the offseason, and I know a lot of it has to do with health. If you're not healthy, you're not going to perform. But he's made mechanical adjustments, which he's needed to make for a year or so, and now I feel like he's in a good spot where he can consistently do damage. And we've already seen that early on. He's not a small kid, so he's got power, he's got potential, but with his swing the way it was last year, he hits the ball on the ground too much, hard for him to stay behind balls, it's hard for him to hit off the strong front side, and now he's corrected all this stuff, so now you're seeing him drive balls to the opposite field. He's obviously as quick as anybody inside, and playing great defense, so what his potential is, I think is more in line with the number 1 pick than it was last year when you say, if he hits 270 with 12 home runs, he's good. and I think all those numbers can go up.
For sure. Now, with any former Brave, I ask this question, any current Brave, any former Brave, is there anything you want to say to Braves country directly?
Keep coming out to the ballpark. We enjoy it and enjoy watching these young kids because you don't get to see it all the time.
We're at a Daryl Cheney United Way golf tournament right now. You're giving up your time to be here to support the United Way. What does it mean to you to be able to give back?
It's fun. Although I wish that the email would have said tea time at 9:30 instead of 8:30 because I could have slept another 45 minutes. But no, it's fun. I enjoy coming out to these events. Daryl Cheney does great things with United Way, and it's just special to be able to come out here and help the community.
Thank you so much.
You got it, man.